There is a story many people carry inside them, even if they have never spoken it out loud. Imagine a small child sitting at a table late in the evening. The room is quiet except for the soft sound of a clock ticking on the wall. In front of the child is a school notebook filled with eraser marks, crossed out words, and shaky handwriting. The child is trying very hard to get everything right. Every letter is written slowly, carefully, as if each one holds some kind of importance beyond just homework. From the other room, voices can be heard. Tired voices, stressed voices, adult voices carrying the weight of responsibilities the child does not yet understand. The child waits, hoping that when the notebook is shown, there will be a smile. Maybe even a simple, "well done." Not something grand, just something warm. But when the moment comes, the response is quick and sharp. A sentence spoken without much thought. A few words that were meant to correct, to guide, to push. The kind of words adults forget within minutes. Yet in that small moment, something quiet happens inside the child. They lower their eyes. They nod. They say nothing. Years pass. That child grows up. The notebook disappears. The house changes. Life moves on. But strangely, the sound of that voice remains. It appears in unexpected moments, when they try something new, when they make a mistake, when they stand in front of an opportunity and suddenly feel unsure of themselves, and they don't even realize why. They just feel a hesitation, a quiet doubt, a feeling that maybe they are not enough. Maybe they never were. This is how words live inside us, not as memories we clearly remember, but as feelings we carry. A single sentence spoken in a moment of frustration can become a belief that stays for years, not because parents are cruel, but because children are deeply listening. They are trying to understand who they are through the voices that surround them. A child does not separate words from meaning. They absorb them, they turn them into truth. And those truths slowly shape how they see the world, how they see others, and most importantly, how they see themselves. That is why the beginning of every story about healing often starts by looking back. Not to blame, not to hold on to pain, but to understand where certain thoughts were born, to understand why certain feelings feel so familiar, and to gently ask, was that really my truth, or was it something I was taught to believe? Because sometimes the person we become is quietly built from the sentences we heard when we were too young to question them. And sometimes all it takes is one moment of awareness to begin seeing those sentences differently. There are words that disappear the moment they are spoken, and there are words that stay. They stay in the quiet corners of the mind, in the way a person looks at themselves, in the voice that speaks inside them when no one else is around. A child may forget what they wore on a certain day, what they ate, or what game they played, but they rarely forget how they were made to feel by the people they trusted the most. Parents do not always realize the weight their words carry. Most of the time, they speak from worry, from exhaustion, from the pressure of wanting their children to become strong and successful. But the mind of a child does not hear intention. It hears meaning. And meaning slowly becomes belief. One of the most painful things a child can hear is, "Why can't you be like someone else?" In that moment, the child does not simply feel compared, they feel replaced. They begin to believe that who they are is not enough. Instead of discovering their own strengths, they start chasing an image that was never meant for them. And over time, they may grow into adults who constantly measure themselves against others, never feeling whole. Another sentence that can leave a deep mark is, "You always mess things up." A child who hears this again and again does not just think they made a mistake. They begin to believe they are the mistake. The mind slowly accepts this as truth, and even when they succeed, a quiet voice inside whispers that failure is only a matter of time. Sometimes parents say, "Stop crying, it's not a big deal." But for a child, it is a big deal. Their world is small and their emotions are large. When their feelings are dismissed, they learn to hide them. They grow up believing that their pain is not important, that their sadness should be swallowed. And years later, they may struggle to understand what they feel because they were taught to silence their own heart. There are moments when a parent might say, "You will never be able to do this." These words may come from fear, from a desire to protect, but to a child, it sounds like a door closing before they even reach it. Confidence does not disappear all at once. It fades slowly each time they are told they cannot. Another heavy sentence is, "I do everything for you, and this is how you repay me." A child is not yet strong enough to carry the weight of guilt. When love feels like a debt, they begin to believe that their worth depends on how well they please others. As adults, they may struggle to say no, always afraid that love will be taken away if they fail to give enough. Some children grow up hearing, "You are too sensitive." At first, they try to change. They try to become harder, quieter, less emotional. But sensitivity is not a weakness. It is the ability to feel deeply, to understand, to connect. When this part of them is rejected, they may begin to reject it too, hiding the very quality that could have been their greatest strength. There is also the sentence spoken in anger, "I wish you were never born," or words that carry a similar weight. Even if said once, even if regret follows immediately, the echo of it can stay. A child may not understand the reason behind it, but they understand the message. And the message feels like rejection at the deepest level. And sometimes it is not loud words that hurt the most, but quiet ones. "You are not good enough." These words do not always come directly. Sometimes they are hidden in tone, in constant criticism, in the feeling that nothing the child does is ever right. Slowly, the child learns to doubt themselves. They grow up searching for approval, afraid that without it, they are nothing. The strange thing about these words is that they often live on long after childhood ends. A person may grow older, move away, build a life, but inside, the same old sentences may still repeat. They may not even realize where those thoughts came from. They only know that something inside them keeps questioning their worth. But there is another truth that is just as powerful. The mind that learned these beliefs can also unlearn them. The voice that once criticized can be replaced with a voice that understands. And the child who once felt small can grow into an adult who begins to see themselves clearly for the first time. Parents are human. They make mistakes. They speak in moments of stress, fear, and fatigue. Most never intend to cause harm, but awareness can change everything. A gentle word can heal where a harsh one once hurt. A moment of understanding can rebuild what doubt once weakened. And for those who carry these old sentences inside them, it is important to remember this. Just because you were told something again and again does not mean it was true. You are not the comparison. You are not the mistake. You are not the burden. You are not the disappointment. You are a person who was learning, growing, and trying to understand the world with the tools you had at the time. And now you have the chance to give yourself the kindness you may not have always received. Because in the end, the words that shape us the most are not always the ones spoken by others. They are the ones we choose to repeat to ourselves. And when those words begin to change, something deep inside begins to heal.